No way. Ghanaian government rejects Sussex request send him warning not to trespass to visit their country. The Ghanaian government has reportedly issued a firm warning to Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, barring him from visiting their country, a move that has ignited global debates about royal diplomacy, neo-colonialism, and the controversial influence of Meghan Markle. The rejection, which allegedly stems from concerns over the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's perceived, performative activism, and Meghan's polarizing reputation, has sparked both outrage and applause across social and political spectrums. While Harry's intentions for visiting Ghana remain unclear, this development raises questions about how the Sussexes' global brand has devolved from being symbols of progress to figures of contention, particularly in regions that have long resisted Western influence. This diplomatic snub, unprecedented in its directness, speaks volumes about the growing unease surrounding Meghan Markle's role in shaping the Sussexes' public image. Once heralded as a breath of fresh air within the traditionally stoic British monarchy, Meghan has become a polarizing figure accused of wielding her platform for self-promotion under the guise of philanthropy. For Ghana, a nation fiercely proud of its independence and wary of neo-colonialist tropes, her presence, alongside Harry, is perceived as potentially exploitative rather than beneficial. The government's rejection of the Sussexes not only highlights the couple's declining credibility but also underscores Africa's determination to protect its sovereignty from what it perceives as Western virtue signaling masked as goodwill. Meghan Markle's reputation has taken a sharp turn from her initial portrayal as a modernizing force within the British royal family. Critics argue that her activism often comes across as insincere, more focused on bolstering her celebrity status than genuinely addressing the issues she claims to champion. In Ghana's case, officials reportedly feared that any visit from the Sussexes would be less about fostering meaningful cultural exchange and more about creating photo opportunities for the couple's media ventures, such as their Netflix documentaries and Spotify podcasts. Ghanaian political commentator Kwame Anakai voiced what many in the country have been speculating: the last thing Ghana needs is for our struggles to be reduced to a backdrop for the Sussexes' PR campaigns. Meghan Markle has shown time and again that her activism is more performative than practical. For a country that has historically resisted Western exploitation, the idea of being used as a prop in the Sussexes' narrative was simply unacceptable. This perception of Meghan as someone who prioritizes optics over substance has been reinforced by her controversial track record. From her disputes with the British monarchy to her high-profile interviews, Meghan has often been accused of leveraging victimhood to gain public sympathy. However, in regions like Africa, where systemic issues demand sustained commitment rather than fleeting attention, such tactics are increasingly being met with skepticism. Ghana's rejection of the Sussexes also brings to light Meghan Markle's fraught history with Africa. During the couple's 2019 tour of Southern Africa, Meghan famously drew criticism for her tone-deaf comments about feeling unprotected by the royal family while visiting a region grappling with poverty, inequality, and historical injustices. Her infamous ITV interview, in which she lamented her struggles with royal life, aired during their visit to South Africa, a country still healing from the scars of apartheid. Many Africans found her remarks to be out of touch, as they appeared to center her personal grievances rather than the pressing issues affecting the communities she visited. It was as though she came here to make it about herself, said South African journalist William Gummead at the time. People here are dealing with real challenges, and her complaints about royal protocol felt incredibly self-indulgent. With this context in mind, Ghana's decision to preemptively reject Harry and Meghan's visit becomes less surprising. The government's stance reflects a growing frustration within Africa over how Western celebrities and public figures often use the continent as a stage for their own narratives, rather than genuinely engaging with the people and their struggles. The Sussexes' fallout with Ghana also sheds light on the couple's waning global influence. Once celebrated as progressive disruptors of royal tradition, Harry and Meghan are now increasingly viewed as opportunists struggling to maintain relevance. Their numerous media projects, including the controversial Oprah interview, their Netflix series, and Harry's memoir, Spare, have been criticized for being overly self-referential and lacking in genuine substance. For Ghana, the Sussexes' apparent descent into tabloid-style sensationalism made them an unappealing choice for any form of diplomatic engagement. Africa is not a prop for global celebrities to rehabilitate their image, said Ama Owusu, a Ghanaian academic specializing in post-colonial studies. The Sussexes have built a brand on controversy, and Ghana has no interest in being part of that narrative. Even Harry's well-documented charitable efforts, such as his work with Sentabale in Lesotho, have been overshadowed by the controversies surrounding Meghan. Critics argue that his association with her has diluted his once commendable reputation, making it harder for him to be taken seriously as a philanthropist. Ghana's rejection, therefore, serves as a stark reminder of how intertwined the Sussexes' personal and professional lives have become, and how Meghan's divisive persona has impacted Harry's ability to operate independently. Ghana's firm stance against the Sussexes also reflects a broader trend across Africa, a growing resistance to Western celebrity culture and its often patronizing approach to the continent. For decades, African nations have been subjected to what some scholars describe as poverty porn, where Western figures use images of suffering African children or impoverished communities to elicit sympathy and donations. Increasingly, however, African leaders and citizens are rejecting this narrative, demanding a more respectful and equitable engagement with the world. In this context, Meghan Markle's brand of activism, widely perceived as self-serving, was particularly unwelcome. Ghana, a country with a rich history of resisting colonialism and asserting its independence, likely saw any association with the Sussexes as a step backward. "We are not here to be anyone's charity case or PR strategy," said Nana Asante, a Ghanaian politician. "If the Sussexes truly want to help, they should start by listening and learning, not by imposing their narrative on us." While Harry's intentions for visiting Ghana remain unclear, many believe that Meghan's involvement played a significant role in the government's decision. Her past controversies, combined with her perceived inability to connect authentically with African communities, made her an unpalatable figure for Ghanaian officials. Moreover, her well-documented disputes with her own family and the British monarchy have raised questions about her ability to navigate complex cultural and diplomatic landscapes. For Ghana, allowing the Sussexes to visit would have risked overshadowing the country's own narrative with the drama that seems to follow Meghan wherever she goes. By rejecting their visit, the government sent a clear message: Ghana will not be a backdrop for anyone's personal or professional agenda. The Ghanaian government's bold decision to reject Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's visit marks a significant moment in the Sussexes' global journey. Once hailed as champions of modernity and progress, the couple now finds themselves increasingly scrutinized and, in some cases, outright rejected. For Ghana, this move was about more than just the Sussexes. It was a statement of sovereignty and a rejection of the narratives that often reduce African nations to props for Western storytelling. As the Sussexes grapple with this setback, they may need to reconsider their approach to global engagement. Authenticity, humility, and a genuine commitment to listening rather than leading will be crucial if they hope to rebuild their reputation and foster meaningful connections with the communities they claim to support. For now, however, Ghana's message is loud and clear: not all doors are open to the Sussexes, and Meghan Markle, in particular, has a long way to go in earning the trust and respect of the global community.